You want to know how to create cool 3D lettering effects like this? Then stay tuned. What's up designers, Matt Roberts here, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to use the blend tool to create a cool 3D neon lettering effect in Illustrator. The blend tool is a powerful tool. It allows us to distribute shapes evenly, blend between two open paths, and combine multiple different colours to create some cool and interesting effects. We're going to be combining a number of these techniques to create our neon lettering. I'm going to start by showing you the foundations of how to create the effect, and then I'm going to show you how to develop it into something that you can apply to your own artwork. Before we get started, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. We post new videos every Wednesday helping you become a better designer. Let's jump into Illustrator and get started. Once we've got Illustrator fired up, we're going to want to start a new document. The document size I'm working with here is the 1000 pixel square, but the size of the document doesn't matter. This will work at any size. So we're going to start by having a look at the blend tool and some of the options that you can use it for, and then we're going to take it and look at how to actually apply this to our lettering. So I'm going to start off by drawing a couple of circles. So I'm going to draw a circle, holding Alt to constrain the proportions, and then we're going to switch back over to the selection tool and then click on Alt, Shift, and then drag that out to make a duplicate. Once I've got my circles, I'm just going to apply a gradient to these. I'm going to add this nice pink to purple gradient. I'm going to remove the stroke, and then I'm going to just change the gradient direction to -45, just so we've got a bit of variation in there. Now we've got our gradiented circles, it's time to add a blend to these. So I'm going to select both of them, and then I'm going to come over to the blend tool in the toolbar, or you can press W on the keyboard. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on the first one and then click on the second one. As you can see, this has added a third one to the center, and you're probably saying to yourself, this is not what we need. You're right, but bear with me a second. So to fix this, we're going to go up to Object, scroll down to Blend, and then we're going to go to Blend Options. In here, we've got this drop down where we can set the spacing. We're going to be using specified steps, and then we want to set this value as high as possible. So for now, I'm going to set it to 500, and then just click that to preview. And as you can see, that makes it a nice smooth gradient. What that's basically doing is it's added 500 duplications of each of those circles in between the front start point and the end point. Now we've got our gradiented blend, it's time to look at how to apply this to a path that we can then later develop into our lettering. So I'm just going to drag a copy of this out over here just to save us losing anything. And then I'm going to switch over to the pen tool and draw a quick path. Black so we can see it. So now we've got a path, it's time to look at how we apply this blend to this path here. I'm going to switch back over to the selection tool. I'm going to just select the blend and the path. I'm going to go up to Object, Blend, and then Replace Spine. And what that'll do is it'll add the blend to this path here. If that's not quite right and you want the back part to be on front, you can come up to Object, Blend, and then Reverse Spine, and what that'll do is it'll change the direction that the blend is following the path. So that's how we apply a blend to a path. So now we're going to look at actually applying this to a letter, and there's a couple of different ways that we can create our letters. So the first way is going to be using the pencil tool. This is a lot easier if you're using a graphics tablet or something like that. I'm using a mouse, but I'm still going to show you with the mouse. But we're going to want to select the pencil or N on the keyboard, double click, and we're going to want to make sure it's set to smooth to get the nicest flowing curves as possible. Once you've got that, select on OK, and then we can just go ahead and draw our letter form that we want. And as you can see, the smoothing has made that look quite nice from my rubbish drawing. Just going to add a black stroke to that. The other way that we can do this is using the pen tool. Doing the same kind of thing, we'll draw out our letter form. So now we've got both of those, I'm just going to duplicate this twice more. So we've got one to apply to each of these. I'm going to switch back to the selection tool and then repeat our same process as before. Select them both, Object, Blend, and then Replace Spine. And the same again with this one. And then we can also, like we did before, reverse that if we're not quite happy with how it's sitting to create our letters. that's not the only way that we can do this. We can actually apply it to a font. So I'm just going to move these two out of here, just so I can show you. Switch over to the type tool, T on the keyboard, and then I'm going to use this font here called Serena that I've had from Adobe Fonts, and I'm going to write the word flow, and then I'm just going to position that somewhere. I'm going to convert this to outline using Command Shift and O, and then I'm just going to turn them into strokes so we've actually got our shapes. There's two ways that we can approach tracing this. We can just trace it with a pen tool, which I'm going to do for the F, O and the W, but then I'll show you a different way that we can do the L using the blend tool. So I'm just going to quickly trace these through now. Now we've got those traced out, I'm going to show you how to use the blend tool to create this L. So I'm going to switch over to the selection tool, and I'm just going to highlight the L, and I'm just going to ungroup everything using Command Shift and G. Once I've got everything ungrouped, I'm just going to select this L, and then I'm just going to zoom right in, and I'm going to delete the endpoints. So I've got two parallel paths. I'm just going to delete all of this up here. And as you can see, we've got two paths that follow the same line. At the moment, we won't be able to use the blend tool because they are compound paths. So we're going to come down to compound paths and release. And now we should be able to go back up to blend and make blend on those. Now, that's obviously not what we wanted. That's filled it with the 1000 that we've specified from earlier. So we're going to go back up to object, blend options, and we just want to drop this down to 1. And that'll just create one path in the center. Now we've got that in the center there, we can see it's got this kink in here, but we can clean all the letters up once we've got rid of everything else and we're just left with our path. So I'm just going to clean everything up now. Now we're just left with each of the paths for the letters. I'm going to duplicate the blend 5 times for each of the lines we're going to need, because we've got a secondary line on here. I'm going to duplicate that 5 times now. Now it's time to apply each of the blends to each of the letters. I'm going to follow the same steps we did before, select one of the lines and then one of the blends, and then go to object, blend, and then replace spine. And we're just going to do that for each of the letters. Now we've added the blend to each of the letters, it's time to fine tune them to get them to somewhere we're happy with. Each of the letters is still live, so we can manipulate the shape if we want to create more space or movement. So I'm just going to go through and fine tune this to somewhere I'm happy with. There we have it, how to create a 3D neon text effect using the blend tool in Illustrator. Thanks for watching, designers. If you like this video, smash that subscribe button, give it a like, and also don't forget to ring that notification bell so you get notified every time we post a new video. Let us know your thoughts for future videos in the comments below. Thanks for watching, designers.